everyone, this is Jacqui Cooper with both the GBA Talk Show as well as the Blockchain Legal Institute and also Crypto Mom too. So I wear many hats literally, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode. I'm extremely excited to have both of these women here. I've known them for a number of years in a variety of different spaces and ways, and they are experts in their own ways on this topic that we're going to be talking about today. But before we dive into why you need to know who they are and what they're doing, I'm going to share a little bit more about the GBA as well as the Blockchain Legal Institute. So the GBA is an organization called the Government Blockchain Association. They host a number of educational events and conferences throughout the year. So you definitely, if you don't know about the GBA, you should definitely go to gbaglobal.org and register for the events. And then on the other side that they do, they have what's called the Blockchain Maturity Model, the BMM. And that is definitely something that anyone who is in the blockchain space, who has a company in the blockchain space, should be looking at learning about, so that way your company can go through the assessment model. In fact, that is one of the ways that I have been able to kind of navigate understanding what blockchain is by taking those classes. And Stacey actually is also very heavily involved with the GBA in terms of the various working groups, and she's going to share a little bit more about that. And then we have Amber, who I know has been in the FinTech world for a while, and she also is going to be sharing a little bit more about her background. So I'm going to hold off sharing a little bit about the Blockchain Legal Institute until the end. I want to welcome both Stacy and Amber to our talk show today, because you are actually, women who are leading the field in terms of financial knowledge and the space of accounting and planning and a whole slew of other topics. So I really want each of you to kind of introduce yourselves, your backgrounds, because there might be individuals even within GBA or everyone else who's seeing this on social media might not know the depth of your knowledge. So go ahead. I don't know who wants to talk first.
I'll let Stacy go first.
All right.
Oh, look, nominated by the crowd. Hi, I'm Stacy Ferris. I'm the resident vampire. I'm sorry. In all seriousness, I'm a certified public accountant, certified fraud examiner. I've been working in the field of forensic accounting and audit for over a decade. Began my crypto journey around 2017 as a personal endeavor. Became a co-author on a economic study of encryption, and that launched me into reading and writing about blockchain and what it could do for accounting and audit, as well as getting familiar with crypto and what that meant for accounting, for the economy, and so forth. In 2021, the University of Maryland invited me to develop and teach a course on blockchain and digital assets, and they wanted a course taught by a CPA to teach it from the perspective of an auditor. So I developed that course and just recently wrapped up my third year of teaching that. It's been a very successful course in terms of, just getting people into the class. All my students agree, they learn a tremendous amount. Most of them start with zero understanding of blockchain itself. I'm also an adjunct with Virginia Tech in their executive MBA program, teaching fundamentals of accounting. So explaining the basics for people who need it and who are not technical accountants. So lots of experience on that side with developing material and teaching things to both accounting students, to non-accountants, and so forth. With the Government Blockchain Association, I co-lead the Blockchain Asset Management Group. We're developing a certification course, which is right now looking like it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 hours of material. It's a lot of material. 10 hours means I'm going to talk fast the whole time. And it is a course that is very comprehensive. It covers accounting, legal, and tokenomic considerations for digital assets. Our goal is to develop a certification that will basically equip somebody to really deeply understand. Now, maybe not deeply, but at least have a real comprehensive knowledge of, here is the business environment for an entity that wants to either create, buy, sell, invest in, whatever it is that you're working towards, we're going to equip you with the knowledge to be able to do that. This course is also going to be a certification required for a BMM assessor within a BMM, a blockchain maturity model team. So a lot of people in the GBA have seen my face and know me because we are taking this course material and turning it into the source for all of the future of money governance and the law conferences. So those conferences, our spring conference that happens every year, is based in and around the material in this course. And so we want to make that our annual course where we talk about everything blockchain asset, digital asset management. I'm working on the exam questions today, in fact. So if you are taking one of those tests down the road, and you don't like one of the questions, I'm directly responsible for that. Thank you.
There's a lot there for sure. Amber, go ahead.
Well, one thing she didn't mention is she is my co-founder at our company and our CFO. I'm Amber Welch. I am the CEO of FinSuite Inc. and co-founder with Stacy. My background is similar but different. I have been in the fintech space for almost I guess now 2 decades. I started out by dual majoring in accounting, information science, and then computer science. So I hold actually 3 degrees, but those 2 I use is how I jokingly refer to my life. And started out in the public accounting world as an auditor, spent a number of years in the corporate world working for Fortune 200 companies at the executive level, and then have been in the Web3 space since about 2016, 2017. Started out there as a partner at a accounting group, and then made the jump into projects and finally decided, why am I working for other people? And co-founded this company with Stacey. And so my experience is both on the finance side, but also at the C-suite level on the operations side. And that is probably a good segue into what you want to talk about next, Jacqui.
Yeah, no, you know what I love about this? 3 strong women doing a lot in this space, leading the way and seeing problems that need to be solved, and then taking the step to solve them. So I would like you to share your screen now because I know that the other thing I'm going to share with everyone is no matter when you see this episode, reach out to Amber and Stacy because we're going to be talking about a 2024. I'm still getting in my head 24. I was about to say 23. 2024 January, February special that they're offering. So you might hear this episode in March or April or later. Reach out to them. You still need to know what they're doing and what specials that they might be offering. But first, I really want to ask you, because it's been staring me in the face. I love FinSuite. I love the Fin. Why that logo? What made you think of that, first of all?
So that question is going to probably mostly be my direction. When we were contemplating how we wanted the company to be presented, what we didn't want was to sound like every other company. And I had a lot of debate in kind of doing some exploratory research here and talking to people who technically are our competitors, but in reality are our dear friends. And their argument was always, yeah, but we come up really easily in Google searches if it's these general terms. But what I have found is it's really confusing for people to remember companies that all have similar names. So we wanted to stand out, but still make sense. And so what came to mind for both Stacy and I is when we were developing the idea of what we wanted to be for a company, we wanted to act kind of like their compass, their North Star. And sharks have an innate sense of both direction and ability to kind of lead the herd in the ocean. And so we wanted to definitely present this idea that with us, you are going to have somebody that can take the reins and handle what you need, but also help you chart your way to the right success. So we kind of landed on this nautical theme. And Sweet was more born out of the idea we didn't want to peg ourselves down to just one little area.
Yeah.
We really wanted to be holistic in the approach of what our roadmap might look like long term.
And you know what I love? I love play on words. FinSuite. the financial suite. I mean, you know, again, it's all about what are you doing, you know, from the financial planning side, the accounting side, you know, everything from that perspective. So I love it. And you know, maybe a little bit later at the end of our talk, I'll talk to you about the cruise that we're doing, because there's a play on words for that too. But again, I was definitely drawn to that right away. So explain to everyone, what are the services that you offer, and what is the special that you know, I was really wanting to share with everyone, because I thought it was very important. So I don't know who wants to speak first.
I can take talking about some of the financial services and the risk analysis service. So we have kind of 4 verticals of services that we provide. I'm really taking the lead on the financial services and a lot of the risk analysis piece of things. Financial services being your outsourced CFO, your outsourced controller, outsourced accounting work. Maybe you need to get set up in QuickBooks. Maybe you have been working with a CPA firm or another bookkeeper who doesn't really understand crypto. And you want someone who just understands the area a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. And so we understand crypto, we understand Web3, we totally are, we're on top of, we stay ahead of, you know, what do you need to have in your accounting system in order to be able to handle these types of transactions. And so, yeah, that's financial services. Also, as a forensic accountant, we are able to offer different forensic services. So let's say you need help with a fraud investigation. We can handle this with utmost discretion and sensitivity. I'm well connected in the forensic space, so any kind of forensic expertise that's necessary. Of course, for that, you would have to have us engaged by your legal counsel. So we are working with one law firm right now, and with more to come, it looks like. So we can provide, depending on the nature of things, you know, for people who we prepare the accounting, I cannot do evaluation or forensic services, but if we are not doing your accounting, then we can absolutely help you with, let's say you need to organize your accounting records to defend against the regulatory agency, or you need to prepare financial statements or something of that sort. Well, we can prepare financial statements, but we can't audit them because we're not a CPA firm. So there's a wide range of things that we can help with. If you're kind of like, well, I don't know what I need, or if you're like, I need this and I'm not sure if you can help, please reach out and let's talk about it. And at the very least, I can help you get some clarity on what you do and do not need. And we can figure out what's going to work the best for you. The risk analysis. Now, this comes out of just seeing over and over again a lot of startups who I like to describe it as they've got great tech or they've got a great idea, and what kills them is some kind of unforeseen accounting or legal issue, or it could be picking the wrong people, having the wrong staffing matrix, not paying attention to your AML KYC compliance. If you're in the banking sector, a lot of crypto entities are in the banking sector, like it or not, they're going to be considered money transmitters. You know, maybe you need operational analysis because you feel like, you know, things just aren't running very efficiently. How do we improve that? That's really Amber's area of expertise. Maybe you want to reduce the number of systems you have, or you're trying to figure out what's going to work the best. Maybe you have intellectual property, you're an NFT creator, or you're developing smart contracts, or you're doing something else that's very innovative. And you know, you don't have, as a startup, you don't have 30, 40,000 lying around that you can engage one of these firms at an hourly rate, and then, you know, just let them run up a bill. And what do you get at the end? It may or may not be useful. You know, I've worked at a lot of big firms. An engagement that's somewhere between 20 to 40,000 is considered small dollars, and sometimes you don't get the best. You don't really get something that's very useful from the client side, right? So what we were trying to figure out was, how can we get people actionable intelligence that helps them to make these business decisions, by having an expert at their arm to help them identify what are the risks that you need to address now, right? A lot of times as a startup, the leader and the CEO, the visionary, they have their mind like they're out here like 3 or 4 or 5 years in the future, and they're thinking about what their vision is. And
She's talking about me directly too.
I'm not at all.
And she's not wrong.
Well, they've got the vision, and the vision's wonderful, right? But when you're looking up and looking ahead, I love to hike, and if I don't watch the ground and keep a pretty close eye on the ground, I'm going to trip over a root or a rock or something like that. So, you gotta have, basically, you gotta have that vision. What we want to provide with this risk package is an affordable, fixed fee, low cost service and access to really competent experts in the crypto field. All of these people here that we have identified, these are people we personally know and are partnering with as our preferred partners. So we have a lot of trust here that this is a great person to talk to. If, for instance, let's say you got a notice from the IRS, or you think that maybe your taxes are incorrect, or you've fallen behind on filing your taxes, and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get organized to do this, right? So we would say, start with us. We can look over things, right? So what we're offering in January and February is actually the financial risk analysis, which is what I perform. Essentially, you'll get my eyes on your chart of accounts, your accounting system, talking to you about your financial processes, and what your business model is, and like, how are your revenues coming in? What are your expenses? I'll look at your financial statements, and I'm going to give you a pretty quick turnaround and tell you, with a report, a summarized report, here's what is strong. This looks great. You're doing great here. There's no need to worry about this area. Keep chugging. It looks like these things are missing out of your chart of accounts. Are you tracking this? The valuation here may be a problem for you. It doesn't look like it's quite correct or something like that. So basically, it's to give people an idea of, where am I good? Where am I not good? And to do it at a really low cost, fixed fee price. So you could pick probably 2 to 3 of these areas, and for under $5,000, you're going to have like really solid, actionable intelligence on, here's where my company is, here's what I need to maybe spend big dollars on, here's what I don't need to worry about. It's that kind of information that's just, it's missing out there. It's even missing for regular businesses, right? So, maybe one of these days we expand to other non-crypto companies, or maybe not.
We like to call it mapping your journey. One, because the idea of choosing your own adventure is trademarked, so we couldn't use that. But it's that idea, right? It's the idea that a company, a user can come in here and say, hey, I have no real insight in all of the million hats I'm supposed to wear, but I had this fantastic idea. I've got a basis to start building on, and I want to know where I'm exposed, versus having to be reactionary, which has been historically the case. And so by being able to come in here and create this customized package for a very, very low cost, and it's not just like getting a great deal, they're getting a great deal with the top experts in the industry, which is an unheard of opportunity. And so the promotion that we're doing obviously is geared towards Stacy's expertise, my background as well. And then outside of that, we do have other services. Obviously, that's a big chunk of what we do for most of our clients. We also have operational services, which is my cup of tea, even though my background was originally finance. Same idea is, we want companies to be able to have one place they can come, because historically what we've seen as far as issues is companies get lost in the idea when they're bootstrapping and starting of what all they need and where to go. And there's a million contracts and it's overwhelming and expensive. And so what we wanted to do was provide them somewhere that they could get everything they need in one location for a flat fee that's entrance level, that they could actually afford and know that they're getting top talent handling it. And so from the operational side, that's basically, think of it like your COO, the person that you need to help you identify processes, figure out implementation, understand customer success, build your team, because as a startup, that initial team is one of the most important things. It will make or break the roadmap for your company. And then be able to go beyond that. We're actually in some final talks to add a 4th service level of digital marketing right now. So that is a coming soon item. But we really want to be that single voice and partner that everyone knows they can trust, that has their best interest in mind and not our bottom line, and really be able to deliver a change in the Web3 space that provides services that are sorely needed.
I really appreciate what you're doing, because I know with my legal hat, one of the challenges that I have as a lawyer is the idea of the billable hours. And I really appreciate the fact that you're looking at the whole company, the whole story, and trying to make it affordable, but at the same time, quality. So, you know, that I think is invaluable, especially whether or not you've been in business for a long time or a short time. You're always budgeting. You're always looking at how do you kind of stretch the dollar and
Yeah.
how do you make it grow for you. But you also need to have you need to have a team that knows who you are and what you're doing. And whether it's having someone who is a blockchain attorney who has a knowledge base, or someone in the forensics or accounting area, you need to have everyone in your team have that knowledge base, or at least if that person's new to the area, and I'm talking to those in the financial space that might want to develop a practice in this area, you need to reach out to Stacy and Amber as well, because their background knowledge, and you can have more than one person on your team. And I always refer to it like a general practitioner in medicine. You know, you might be a general practitioner, but you then might go to a specialist in an area because that's not your area. So if you do have a client who is navigating this space, but that's not your area in the accounting, financial services, the auditing side, reach out to Stacy and Amber, because that is their space, and they can help guide you in a way that I think would be critical. It's important for growth, for sure. So,
We're doing some pretty interesting things in this area too with respect to pricing. Like, we've set a policy internally that, you know, our pay, me and her, we're the executives of the company right now, our pay will not exceed 3 times our lowest paid employee. You know, we've capped ourselves and we intend to keep that, right? We're doing fixed fees on most of our work. Litigation, caveat, litigation has to remain at an hourly rate just because of the nature of litigation, but to the extent possible, wherever we can do fixed fee, like, here's the cost, one cost, that's it. That's what we're really aiming to do. What that means is that we take the risk
Mm-hmm.
of planning the engagement appropriately and using our resources appropriately. You know, if I spend too many hours on something, that's my problem that I'm going to have to eat, right? I'm not going to pass that off to my client. I have to manage my engagements and my time and my staff appropriately in order to meet what my clients need.
yeah, no, I appreciate that fully. I know that you have some things coming down the pike. I know that you're, you know, going to be announcing them down the road, but is there any little teaser that you want to share with everyone who's listening? Because again, both of you are brilliant in what you're doing, and I know that what you're about to share is going to be revolutionary. So, what can you share right now?
Well, we're really, really excited. We would love nothing more than to scream it from the mountaintops, but we do have to be patient, which for me especially is very difficult. I am not known for that. So Stacey keeps me in my box really well. As a good friend should. She brings the right level of maturity that I lack sometimes, I think. So what I can say is what we're developing and why we came to the conclusion to develop it is because when we started this company, what we said and the discussions we had over coffee in Denver were basically, what is missing? What are people failing to consider? And where can we do the most good? Because if both of us, just on a very personal level, our whole ethos as humans is for our imprint to be about the good that we do in this world. And so that doesn't always coincide with the normal mindset of corporations and business. And we think that it should and it can. And so when we were building out the idea for the company from the ground up, it was, what things do we want to do different and show people that by doing these, not only will it be successful, it will be more successful because people trust you, people know that your heart is in the right place, and that what you want to do is to help companies that deserve it succeed. And so with the product that we are starting development on now, it will be an actual SaaS offering. So it won't necessarily be the same services type offering as the others. It will work very well hand in hand with some of what we currently offer. but it will change the game in a few different areas, way beyond just Web3, that no one has really tackled yet. And it will be something that is needed from more than just the business and customer side of things. So the early discussions we've had with a few trusted individuals have been, from the investor space, from the partner space, both legal and accounting, and from the customer or client space. So it's really thinking about it from a very agnostic, holistic viewpoint of what is missing, what needs to be addressed, and what is really best for the whole ecosystem and these companies to maximize their ability to achieve like the societal positive impact they want. So I know I threw a lot out there, but it is very, very exciting. And like early talks on this are that there is a lot of potential to do a massive amount of good, and that excites us.
I'm excited to learn more when you're willing to announce it, publicly. So I know that we're going to have more than one conversation. Any last minute thoughts, Stacy, before we wrap up?
As you can see, Amber is really great at the speaking part. She's the visionary. I'm the realist. So
It's what makes our company whole.
we complement each other very well. It's actually been extraordinarily pleasant experience to be able to work closely with Amber on building this out. We have very complementary personalities in terms of like, where I'm strong. I help to, see, I can't even think of the words for it. Amber,
She balances out my rash behavior. Let's not mince words. I am an emotional human. There's nothing wrong with that. Stacy brings balance to me, and I help her think about the big picture and be a little bit of a dreamer because I love to dream.
I love that as well. So for just as a quick wrap up, for those that have not had a chance to explore the Blockchain Legal Institute, I definitely welcome you to go to www.bli.tools. And I also want to share that within BLI, besides it being a centralized library of resources and people, we are offering continuing legal education classes, of which some of the members of GBA are actually also offering through BLI, and we're also offering continuing education classes. And so Stacy has agreed that she is going to be looking at offering a class on the BLI Institute's Academy area. And so definitely check that out, because you don't have to be part of the university structure in order to enjoy and learn from her. And this is definitely a class that will help anyone in the profession who would like to take it. So thank you, Stacy, for being on that side of it. And I know that Amber, you are multi-talented as well. And actually, you'll be in one of the books that is about to be published soon. So we'll be announcing that later, but too much. Anyway, for everyone who has signed on here, thank you so much. Remember, always be kind to yourself, be kind to others. That's how I always end all my talk shows. We are also interconnected, all part of one world, and now even more than ever. Have a great day. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.